I handed her the envelope during our daughter's birthday party. She opened it, saw the paternity test, and for the first time in 2 years, Sarah couldn't lie. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back 3 months to the moment I knew, really knew. We looked perfect. That's what everyone said. The Mitchells, model family. Sarah taught second grade. I worked in software. We had a 3-bedroom colonial with a maple tree in the front yard. Our daughter Emma just turned 5. Blonde curls, gap-toothed smile. The kind of kid strangers stop you for in the grocery store to say how cute she is. Perfect. Except Sarah's phone was always face down now. It started small. Little things you tell yourself not to notice. She'd be making dinner, the phone would buzz on the counter, and her hand would shoot out, fast, too fast, flipping it over before the screen could light up where I might see. Just work stuff, she'd say, parents emailing about their kids. But it was 9 p.m. on a Saturday. I didn't say anything, not then. I watched, started paying attention to the details I'd been too comfortable to see. How she angled her body away when texting. How the bathroom door started locking during showers. How book club happened every Thursday now, sometimes Fridays too, and she'd come home smelling like wine and something else. Something that wasn't books. We were at a neighborhood barbecue when it happened, 4th of July. Emma was running through the sprinkler with the other kids, shrieking with that pure joy only 5-year-olds have. Sarah was talking to our neighbor, Linda, about some PTA thing. I was manning the grill. The phone buzzed on the patio table, face down, like always. I glanced over, just a glance. Sarah's hand shot out, but this time I saw the screen before she flipped it. Just the preview, just a fragment of text from a contact saved as Office John. Can't wait until he knows nothing. Then it was gone. She flipped it, slipped it in her pocket, smiled at Linda like nothing had happened. I burned 3 burgers before I realized the grill was too hot. My hands were shaking. That night, Emma asked why I was quiet during fireworks. I told her Daddy was just tired. She held my hand, said, "It's okay, Daddy. You can sleep when we get home." 5 years old, already taking care of me. The phone buzzed again the next morning, early, 6 a.m. Sarah was still asleep. I watched her grab it off the nightstand without opening her eyes, some kind of muscle memory. She read whatever it was in the dark glow of the screen, typed back, and set it down, all without waking up fully. I lay there staring at the ceiling, my wife 3 feet away, and I realized I was sleeping next to a stranger. The birthday party was Sarah's idea, Emma's 5th. She wanted to go big. She only turns 5 once, Sarah said, scrolling through Pinterest on the couch. I'm thinking princess theme. Maybe we rent a bounce house? I was half watching a game. Sure, whatever you think. We should invite people from my work. Emma loves when they come over. I looked at her then. Your work? She's 5. She doesn't know your coworkers. She knows John. He's always asking about her. John. Office, John. Can't wait until he knows nothing. I don't think we need to invite your co-workers to our daughter's birthday party, Sarah. She didn't look up from her phone. He's been really helpful lately. With the classroom supply fundraiser, it would be rude not to include him. It's a kid's party. He doesn't have family nearby. I think he'd appreciate it. And that's when I knew, not suspected, knew, the way she said his name, soft, careful, like it tasted good. Sure, I said, invite John. She smiled, went back to her phone. I went to the garage, sat in my car, and called a lawyer. The party was on a Saturday, sunny, perfect weather. We'd rented a bounce house, set up tables in the backyard. Sarah made a homemade banner with Emma, glitter and construction paper spelling out, "Happy 5th birthday, Emma." 12 people showed up, neighbors, a few kids from Emma's pre-K, Sarah's parents, her sister, Emily, who kept looking at me weird all morning, and John. He arrived 20 minutes late with a gift bag the size of a small suitcase. designer wrapping paper, a card that probably cost more than most of the presents inside. "Sorry I'm late," he said, grinning at Sarah. "Traffic." "There's no traffic in our suburb on a Saturday at noon." Sarah touched his arm. "You made it. That's what matters." I watched from the grill, watched him crouch down to Emma's level, watched him hand her the massive gift bag. "This is for you, Pumpkin." Emma looked at the bag, looked at me, back at the bag. "Thank you," she said quietly. Pumpkin. That's what I called her, only me, since she was born. It was our thing. John stood up, caught my eye across the yard, smiled. I smiled back, and I reached into my jacket pocket, felt the envelope, heavy. Not paper heavy, truth heavy. Sarah called everyone to sing happy birthday. Emma stood in front of her cake, pink frosting, 5 candles, her face glowing in that specific way kids' faces glow when they're the center of something magical. We sang, she blew out the candles, everyone clapped. I walked over to Sarah, handed her the envelope. "What's this?" she asked. "Open it." She must have heard something in my voice because her smile faltered. Just a flicker. Then she opened the envelope. Her face went white. She pulled out the first paper, paternity test results, official lab letterhead, DNA sequences, and at the bottom, in bold, probability of paternity 99.9%. "I don't," she started. "Keep going," I said. She pulled out the next document, bank statements, her secret account, the one I wasn't supposed to know about, $47,000, transferred over 18 months, small amounts at first, then bigger chunks, our savings, my retirement contributions, gone. Her hands were shaking now. "There's more," I said. She pulled out the divorce papers, already filed, already submitted to the county clerk 3 days ago, and finally the text messages, printed, dated, time-stamped. 18 months of conversations, her and John, planning, discussing, laughing about things I said, about how I didn't notice anything, about how they'd be together soon, about how she'd tell Emma I wasn't her real father, about how John was going to replace me. Sarah looked at John. John looked at Emily. Emily looked at the ground. I leaned in close, quiet, just for her. "Oh, you didn't tell him your sister knew?" Sarah dropped the papers. Emma tugged on my hand. "Daddy, what's wrong with Mommy?" I picked her up. "Mommy's just surprised, baby. Why don't we go see if there's more cake?" Behind us, Sarah started to cry. John started toward his car. Sarah's mother just stared at her daughter like she was looking at someone she'd never met. And Emily walked over to me. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. I told her to stop. I told her she'd lose everything." "I know," I said. "I know you did." The party ended fast after that. People made excuses. Kids were tired. It was getting hot. We should get going. Sarah's father helped carry trash bags to the curb. Didn't look at Sarah once. By 3 p.m., it was just us. Sarah, me, Emma napping inside, and Emily sitting on the back porch steps, crying quietly. Sarah sat at the patio table, staring at the papers spread in front of her like evidence at a crime scene. "This isn't what it looks like," she said finally. I was taking down the birthday banner, Emma's glitter handwriting, her little handprints in paint. "Then explain the apartment lease," I said. "The one with John's name on it, the one you're on as a co-signer." Silence. "Explain the email to your lawyer, the one where you asked how to prove I wasn't Emma's biological father without me knowing you were testing her DNA." More silence. "Explain why my 5-year-old daughter, our daughter, was about to be told on her 6th birthday that I'm not her real daddy. It wasn't like that. It's exactly like that." I turned around. "I have the recording, Sarah. You and John, in his apartment, discussing how he'd adopt Emma once you proved, falsely, that I wasn't her father. Clean slate, you said, remember?" Her face crumbled. "How did you—" "Emily wore a wire." Sarah's head snapped to her sister. Emily looked up, tears streaming. I couldn't let you do it. I couldn't let you take Emma from him. If you've ever been gaslit, if someone made you doubt what you knew was true, you'll understand what came next. That moment when all the little lies, all the small betrayals, all the times they made you feel crazy for noticing, when it all clicks into place and you realize you weren't wrong. You were just trusting someone who didn't deserve it. Drop it in the comments. You're not alone. Sarah stood up. I want to talk to Emma. No. She's my daughter, and she's my daughter, biologically, legally, morally, every way that matters. You were trying to erase that. You did, and now you're going to leave. You can't kick me out of my own house. I held up my phone, pulled up an email. Temporary restraining order, granted this morning based on evidence of parental alienation and financial fraud. You have 24 hours to remove your personal belongings. After that, locks change. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. My lawyer will contact yours on Monday, I said. You'll get a fair custody arrangement, supervised visits until we can establish that you won't try to poison my daughter against me. You'll repay the $47,000 you stole, and you'll stay away from John or you'll lose what little custody you might get. You can't. I already did. Emily stood, walked to her sister. I'll help you pack. Sarah looked at her, at me, at the house where she'd lived for 6 years, where she'd brought Emma home from the hospital, where we'd built something, or where I thought we'd built something. I loved you, she said. No, I said. You loved the idea of me, the safe choice, the backup plan, until something more exciting came along. I walked inside. Emma was still sleeping on the couch, birthday crown crooked on her head, clutching a stuffed unicorn John had given her. I took the unicorn, put it in the donate box. She'd never ask about it. Kids that age, they forget things fast when those things aren't important. She wouldn't forget me. That's what mattered. By Monday morning, Sarah was gone, moved out. Emily helped her load boxes into a U-Haul Sunday night while I took Emma to my mother's house for a sleepover. When we got home Monday, Emma walked through the quiet house. Where's Mommy? Mommy has her own place now, baby, but you'll still see her. She loves you very much. Did you and Mommy have a fight? I knelt down, eye level. Grown-ups are complicated sometimes, but here's what you need to know. None of this is your fault. Mommy and I both love you more than anything. That never changes, okay? She nodded. Then, can we make pancakes? And just like that, life kept going. My lawyer's office called at 2 p.m. Sarah's attorney wants a meeting. This week. She's pushing for 50-50 custody. Based on what? She's the mother. That's usually enough. Not this time, I said. Not after what she tried to do. We have to be strategic here. Courts favor maternal custody in... Do you have children? Pause. Yes. 2 daughters. Would you give one of them to someone who tried to convince the world she wasn't yours? Longer pause. No. Then we fight. It's going to get ugly. It already is ugly. Now we just make sure the right person wins. He sighed. I'll schedule the deposition, but there's something you should know. What? Sarah doesn't know about all the evidence yet. She knows about the texts, the bank statements, but she doesn't know about the recording, the one Emily made. Good. When we play it in the deposition, she's going to implode. I know. And John, he could face charges, conspiracy to commit fraud, maybe more. I don't care about John, I care about Emma. I understand, just be prepared. This is going to get worse before it gets better. I hung up, looked out the window. Emma was in the backyard, pushing her doll on the swing set, singing to herself, 5 years old, and her world just broke apart. But she was still singing. Kids are resilient. That's what everyone says. I hope they were right. My lawyer whispered, she doesn't know about the recording yet, does she? She didn't, but she was about to. The deposition was scheduled for 2 weeks out. 14 days to prepare, to gather everything, to make sure there were no holes Sarah's lawyer could exploit. But first, I need to tell you how I found out. Because discovering your wife is cheating, that's one thing. Discovering she's planning to erase you from your daughter's life, that's something else entirely. It started 6 months before the birthday party. Sarah was on her phone, again, smiling at something, that private smile, the one that used to be for me. "What's funny?" I asked. She jumped, actually jumped. "Nothing, just a meme Emily sent." But she closed the app too fast. And when I glanced at her screen later that night while she was in the shower, there were no memes from Emily. Just a text thread with Office John that disappeared into nothing when I tried to scroll up. Deleted, every day, carefully. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I'm not ashamed either. I called a private investigator. His name was Marcus, former cop, retired after 20 years. He met me at a coffee shop off the highway, somewhere Sarah would never go. "What do you need?" he asked. I showed him the phone behavior, the deleted texts, the book clubs that didn't line up with the book club's actual meeting schedule. I'd checked the library's event calendar. "How far do you want me to go?" he asked. "As far as it takes." He nodded. "It'll cost you, and you might not like what I find." "I already don't like it. I just need proof." It took him 3 weeks. 3 weeks of surveillance, of following Sarah to book club and watching her park at an apartment complex instead, of photographing her and John getting coffee, holding hands, kissing in his car. 3 weeks of coming home and kissing my wife goodnight while knowing she'd been kissing someone else that afternoon. 3 weeks of reading Emma bedtime stories and wondering if Sarah was planning to take that away from me. Marcus delivered the evidence on a Thursday. A thick folder, photos, timestamps, GPS data from Sarah's car. I'd installed a tracker, legally, on a vehicle I co-owned. Hotel receipts cross-referenced with her girls' nights out. "There's more," Marcus said. He handed me a second folder, financial records. A forensic accountant had gone through our accounts, found the transfers, the secret account in Sarah's name only, money moving from our joint savings. Small amounts at first, $50 here, $100 there, then bigger chunks, $500, $1,000, $47,000 total. "She's building an exit fund," Marcus said. "Classic pattern. She's planning to leave." "When?" "Can't say for sure. But based on the escalation, soon." I sat there, in my car, in a parking lot, staring at photos of my wife with another man. And then I saw the last item in the folder, a printed email from Sarah's account to a family law attorney. Subject line, "Custody question, confidential." I read it 3 times before it sank in. If I'm not sure about paternity, what steps do I need to take to prove my husband isn't the biological father without him knowing I'm testing? Can I use this to get full custody? The attorney's response: "We'd need to discuss this in person. Paternity fraud is serious, and false claims can backfire, but if you have legitimate doubts, we can explore options." She didn't have doubts. Emma looked exactly like me. Had my eyes, my nose, even my weird crooked pinky fingers. But Sarah was going to claim she did. Was going to try to prove I wasn't Emma's father. Was going to take my daughter from me based on a lie. I sat in that car for an hour. Then I called my lawyer. Then I ordered a paternity test. The results came back 4 days later. 99.9% match. Emma was mine. Biologically, scientifically, undeniably. I filed for divorce that same afternoon, and I started planning the birthday party. The worst evidence wasn't the affair. It wasn't the money. It was the recording. Emily called me 2 weeks before the party, crying, barely coherent. "I can't do this anymore," she said. "I can't watch her do this to you." "What are you talking about?" "Sarah, she told me everything. About John, about leaving, about Her voice broke. About Emma. What about Emma? She's going to tell her you're not her real dad. She's going to make John into her father. She has a plan. She's been talking to lawyers about how to do it legally, how to prove paternity fraud even though there isn't any. I was making dinner. I turned off the stove. When is she planning this? Emma's 6th birthday. She wants it to be symbolic, a fresh start, a new family. 1 year. She was giving it 1 more year, probably to establish more evidence of her fake narrative, to build a case. I need you to do something for me, I said. Anything. Next time she talks about this, if she talks about this, I need you to record it. Silence. Emily. Is that legal? In our state? Yes. One-party consent. You're part of the conversation. You can record it. She's my sister. And Emma's my daughter. More silence, then, okay, I'll do it. 3 days later, Emily came over for dinner. Just sisters, Sarah said, catching up. Emily's phone sat on the table, voice recorder app running in her pocket. The conversation started normal. Work, weather, some cousin's wedding coming up. Then Emily said, "So, what's really going on with you and David?" I was at my mother's house with Emma. Pizza night. Sarah had the house to herself, and she talked. She told Emily everything. The affair timeline, 18 months, how John was everything David isn't. Spontaneous, exciting, not boring. How she'd fallen out of love with me years ago but stayed for stability. How she'd started moving money because she didn't trust me to be fair in a divorce. And then she said it. The only problem is Emma. David's obsessed with her. He'll fight for custody. Emily's voice on the recording. He's her father, Sarah. Of course he'll fight. That's the thing. I've been doing research. If I can prove he's not her biological father, but he is. Emma looks exactly like him. I know. But if I claim I had doubts, if I say I was with someone else around the time of conception, I can force a paternity test. And then when it comes back positive, I'll say I'm relieved. But by then, I'll have established doubt in court records. It creates a narrative. A narrative of what? That David's relationship with Emma is unstable. That I'm the consistent parent. That she should be with me primarily. That's insane, Sarah. It's strategic. My lawyer said judges favor mothers anyway. I just need to create some uncertainty about David's bond with her. And John? Sarah laughed. Actually laughed. Once we prove, or don't prove whatever, the paternity thing, and I have primary custody, John can adopt her. We'll tell her the truth gradually, that John is going to be her real dad now, that David was just a phase. She's 5 years old, Sarah. He's not a phase. He's her father. He's a placeholder, and Emma will adjust. Kids are resilient. Emily sent me the recording that night. I listened to it 17 times. Then I called my lawyer. We have her, he said after listening. This is premeditated parental alienation. Conspiracy to commit fraud. She'll be lucky to get supervised visitation. I don't want to take her from Emma completely. She's still her mother. You're a better person than most, David. I'm not. I just know Emma needs a mother, even a flawed one, as long as she can't poison my daughter against me. When asked if she'd discussed removing me from my daughter's life, Sarah said no. Then we played the recording. The deposition was in a windowless conference room downtown, wood-paneled walls, a long table. Sarah on one side with her lawyer, me on the other with mine, a court reporter in the corner. Sarah wouldn't look at me. Her lawyer started gentle. Establishing timeline, marriage date, Emma's birth. When did problems start? Sarah answered in a quiet voice. Said we'd grown apart. That she'd made mistakes but wanted to work things out for Emma's sake. My lawyer didn't interrupt, just let her talk, build her story. Then he opened his folder. Mrs. Mitchell, you stated you made mistakes. Can you be more specific? I was seeing someone from work. For how long? A few months. Is a few months the same as 18 months? Her lawyer objected, argued semantics. My lawyer pulled out the text message logs, all of them, printed, highlighted, dated. These messages between you and John Richardson start October 2022, 18 months ago. Would you like to revise your answer? Sarah's face went red. I don't remember exactly when. Let's talk about October 15th, 2022. This message from you to Mr. Richardson. David's working late again. Can I come over? Does that refresh your memory? Yes. Okay, 18 months. And during these 18 months, did you remove money from your joint marital accounts? I was saving $47,000 transferred to an account with only your name, without your husband's knowledge. Is that correct? Her lawyer objected again. This is financial discovery. We haven't. My lawyer slid bank statements across the table. Your client opened an account at First National Bank on December 1st, 2022, 2 months into the affair. She transferred funds 63 times over the next 16 months. Would you like me to read each transaction date and amount? Silence. Mrs. Mitchell, did you tell your sister Emily that you plan to claim paternity fraud to gain custody of your daughter? No, I never. Did you discuss with Mr. Richardson adopting Emma once you obtained custody? That's not. Did you tell your sister, and I quote, Emma will adjust. Kids are resilient when discussing how your daughter would react to being told her father wasn't her real father. Sarah's lawyer leaned in, whispered something. Sarah shook her head. I was upset. I was venting. I never would have. We have a recording, Mrs. Mitchell. Everything stopped. Sarah's eyes went wide. What? Your sister Emily recorded a conversation with you on May 3rd of this year, with her consent as a party to the conversation, making it legally admissible. Would you like to hear it? Her lawyer's face went pale. You recorded my client. Emily recorded her sister, who detailed a plan to commit paternity fraud for the purpose of parental alienation. Yes. My lawyer pressed play on his laptop. Sarah's voice filled the room, tinny but clear. Once we prove, or don't prove, whatever, the paternity thing, and I have primary custody, John can adopt her. And Emma. She'll adjust. Kids are resilient. He's her father, Sarah. He's a placeholder. The recording ended. Sarah was crying now, shoulders shaking. Her lawyer looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. For the record, my lawyer said, paternity test results show 99.9% probability that David Mitchell is Emma's biological father. Mrs. Mitchell never had legitimate doubts. She was planning to manufacture doubt for legal advantage. He closed his folder. We're done here. Here's my question. When someone betrays you like this, do you owe them privacy or do you owe yourself protection? Comment privacy or protection. The community found out fast. Small suburbs, word travels. Someone always knows someone who works somewhere. Sarah's lawyer's paralegal went to our church, mentioned the case to her sister, who mentioned it to her book club. The actual book club Sarah had lied about attending. By the following Monday, everyone knew. The PTA group chat went silent when Sarah logged on. Just silent. She'd been vice president, organized 3 fundraisers that year. She resigned via email. John's situation was worse. The affair violated his employer's ethics policy. Relationships between co-workers required disclosure, especially when one held a senior position. John was senior. Sarah wasn't. He was asked to resign. The message went around his office. People talked. People always talk. Sarah's parents called me. Her father spoke first. We don't understand what happened. We raised her better than this. I know you did. Emma, we can still see Emma? We're her grandparents. Whatever Sarah did, we love that little girl. Of course, you're always welcome. You're still Emma's grandparents. Nothing changes that. Her mother got on the line, crying. We're so sorry, David. We're so sorry she hurt you like this. Hurt Emma. Emma doesn't know most of it, and she won't. I'm not going to poison her against her mother. You're a good man, better than... Her voice broke. Better than Sarah deserved. They came over that weekend, brought Emma a new doll, took her to the park, pushed her on the swings. When they dropped her off, Sarah's mother hugged me. You're still our grandson's father, she said. You always will be. It was supposed to be granddaughter. She meant granddaughter. But the message was clear. Family isn't just blood. Sometimes it's choice. The final custody hearing was set for 6 weeks out. Emergency temporary orders gave me primary physical custody, 80-20 split. Sarah got every other weekend, supervised by a court-appointed monitor for the first 3 months. Emma asked why Mommy couldn't come inside anymore. Mommy's learning how to be a better mommy, I said. So for now, a nice lady named Patricia will be there when you visit. Did Mommy do something bad? 5 years old, too young to understand, too smart not to notice. Mommy made some choices that hurt people, I said carefully, but she loves you very much. That never changes. Do you still love Mommy? I crouched down, looked my daughter in the eye. I will always love the person Mommy was, and I will always love that she gave me you. Emma hugged me, tight, her little arms around my neck. I love you, Daddy. I love you too, Pumpkin. The week before the final hearing, I couldn't sleep. 2 a.m. I walked past Emma's room. Her door was cracked open. I stepped inside. She was asleep, curled up with a stuffed elephant. Her nightlight cast stars on the ceiling. Above her bed, I'd framed one of her drawings, the one I'd carried in my pocket the day of the birthday party, 2 stick figures holding hands. My daddy and me, in purple crayon. I sat on the edge of her bed. On her nightstand, she'd made a stack of things, a collection. I'd never noticed it before, a rock from the park. The one I told her looked like a heart, a feather we'd found on a walk, a ticket stub from the zoo, Father-Daughter Day last spring, and a little journal, pink, with stickers on the cover. I opened it, her handwriting big, uneven, the way 5-year-olds write. Things I love about Daddy. She'd numbered them. 1, he makes funny voices when he reads stories. 2, he never yells even when I'm bad. 3, he always comes back. He always comes back. 3 simple words from a child who didn't know she'd almost lost me. I sat there, in the dark, reading my daughter's handwriting, and I cried. Not the angry crying from before, not the shocked crying from the deposition. This was different. This was grief and relief and love, all mixed together, because she knew. Somehow she knew that I wasn't going anywhere, that I would always come back. I closed the journal, put it back exactly where she'd left it, and I made a promise to the sleeping 5-year-old who trusted me more than I'd trusted myself. I would fight for her. Always. Not because Sarah didn't deserve to be her mother, but because Emma deserved a father who wouldn't disappear. Emma woke up while I was standing there. Daddy? Hey, baby. Sorry. I didn't mean to wake you. She sat up, rubbed her eyes. Why are you in my room? Just checking on you. She looked at me. That look kids have when they see more than you think they do. Daddy, why did Mommy take Uncle John's suitcase to her new house? I froze. What do you mean? At the party, when everyone was eating cake, I saw Mommy and Uncle John putting his suitcase in her car. Why did she take his stuff? My 5-year-old noticed what Sarah thought she'd hidden. My 5-year-old saw what a dozen adults missed. I don't know, baby. Sometimes grown-ups do things that don't make sense. She lay back down, pulled her elephant close. I like it better when it's just us, Daddy. Me too, Pumpkin, me too. I kissed her forehead, turned off the nightlight, and I walked back to my own room, where I lay awake until dawn, thinking about the recording, the deposition, the hearing in 6 days. Thinking about a little girl who noticed suitcases when she should have been eating birthday cake. Thinking about how close I'd come to losing her, and how I'd burn the whole world down before I let that happen. Sarah said no when asked if she'd discussed removing me. Then we played the recording. Now we waited for the judge. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. I'd imagined something from TV. High ceilings, dramatic windows, a judge's bench 10 feet tall. Instead, it was just a room. Fluorescent lights, beige walls, 20 chairs for observers, most of them empty. Sarah sat 3 tables away, new lawyer, her third. The first 2 had dropped her after the deposition. She'd lost weight, looked tired, kept twisting her wedding ring, except she wasn't wearing it anymore. Just the habit, phantom jewelry. The judge entered. Everyone stood. Judge Patricia Reynolds, 23 years on the bench. Gray hair pulled back, reading glasses on a chain. She looked at both of us like she'd seen this story 1,000 times and was tired of the ending. Be seated. Sarah's lawyer went first, made his case. Sarah had made mistakes, yes, but she was remorseful. She was in therapy. She'd ended the relationship with John. She wanted to rebuild trust with Emma. A child needs her mother. She loves her daughter, he said, and Ms. Mitchell has every right to shared custody. The affair, while regrettable, doesn't make her unfit. My lawyer stood. Your Honor, this isn't about the affair. It's about premeditated parental alienation. He submitted evidence, all of it, the recording, the emails, the financial fraud, the plan to falsely claim paternity fraud. Mrs. Mitchell didn't just betray her husband, she conspired to erase him from his daughter's life, based on manufactured evidence, based on lies told to a 5-year-old child. He pulled out the custody evaluation, the psychologist's report, interviews with teachers, neighbors, Emma's pediatrician. Every single person recommended primary custody to me. Emma thrives in her father's care. She's bonded to him. He's stable, consistent. He puts her first. Sarah's lawyer objected. Ms. Mitchell has been a devoted mother for 5 years. Until she planned to tell that child her father wasn't real, my lawyer interrupted. Until she moved money into secret accounts. Until she prioritized her affair over her family. Judge Reynolds held up her hand. I've read the filings. I've listened to the recording. I've reviewed the custody evaluation. She looked at Sarah. Mrs. Mitchell, I need to hear from you, not your lawyer. You. Sarah stood, shaking. Your Honor, I made terrible choices. I know that. I was selfish. I was thinking about what I wanted instead of what Emma needed. Her voice cracked. But I love my daughter. I'm her mother. I know I don't deserve full custody. I know I hurt people. But please don't take her from me completely. Judge Reynolds nodded. Sit. Sarah sat. The judge looked at me. Mr. Mitchell, I stood. I don't want to take Emma from her mother. I want Emma to have both parents. But I need to know my daughter is safe from manipulation, that Sarah won't try to undermine my relationship with Emma, that she'll respect boundaries. And if the court orders those boundaries, then I'll do everything I can to help Sarah rebuild trust, for Emma's sake. Judge Reynolds leaned back, took off her glasses. In 23 years on the bench, I've rarely seen betrayal this calculated or a father this prepared. She looked at Sarah. Mrs. Mitchell, your behavior was reprehensible. You didn't just cheat. You conspired to commit fraud. You planned to psychologically damage your child for personal gain. If Mr. Mitchell had requested supervised visitation permanently, I'd grant it. Sarah started crying. However, Judge Reynolds looked at me. Mr. Mitchell is right. Emma needs her mother. Children need both parents when possible, and you've shown remarkable restraint and maturity in not seeking to eliminate Ms. Mitchell's access entirely. She put her glasses back on. Here's my ruling. Physical custody, 80% to Mr. Mitchell, 20% to Ms. Mitchell, every other weekend. No overnight visits until Emma's therapist clears it. Ms. Mitchell will attend parenting classes and continue individual therapy. No contact between Ms. Mitchell and Mr. Richardson in Emma's presence. Ever. Sarah nodded, still crying. Financial. Ms. Mitchell will repay the $47,000 over 5 years, plus penalties and interest, no spousal support, forfeited due to adultery. Mr. Mitchell retains the marital home and all retirement accounts. Ms. Mitchell will pay child support of $800 per month. Sarah's lawyer winced. Judge Reynolds wasn't finished. And let me be clear, Ms. Mitchell. This is your one chance. If you violate these terms, if you try to manipulate Emma, if you speak negatively about her father, if you miss a single payment or therapy session, I will revisit custody. And next time you'll see your daughter in a supervised facility once a month. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Mitchell, do you have anything to add? I looked at Sarah, really looked at her, the woman I'd loved, the woman I'd married, the mother of my child, the woman who'd tried to erase me. Just one thing, Your Honor. Go ahead. I hope you get better, Sarah. Not for me, for Emma. She deserves a mother who shows up. The order was filed that afternoon. Emma was legally mine. Primarily, legally, protected. Sarah's first supervised visit was that Saturday, 2 hours at a community center. Patricia, the monitor, would be there. Emma was nervous. What if Mommy's sad? She asked while I braided her hair. Mommy might be sad. That's okay. Sad isn't bad. Will she be mad at me? I turned her around, held her face in my hands. Emma, listen to me. None of this is your fault. Not Mommy being sad. Not Mommy living somewhere else. None of it. You're loved by me, by Mommy, by Grandma and Grandpa, by Nana. You're so, so loved. Promise? Promise. She hugged me. I'm glad I get to live with you, Daddy. Me too, Pumpkin. Two days after the hearing, a letter arrived, handwritten, Sarah's handwriting, my name on the envelope. I almost threw it away, but something made me open it. David, I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I know that. I've been in therapy 3 times a week, trying to understand why I did what I did, why I was willing to hurt you, hurt Emma, hurt everyone. My therapist says I was running from responsibility, from the reality of being a wife and mother, that I wanted excitement, and when John gave me that, I rationalized everything else. But understanding it doesn't fix it. I listened to the voicemail you let me have, Emma saying, "Good night, Mommy," every night. She recorded it 2 months ago before everything fell apart. I don't deserve even that. But thank you. I know you probably hate me. You should. But I need you to know something. I never stopped loving Emma, even when I stopped deserving her. And I never stopped knowing you were a good father. That's why I was so threatened. Because deep down, I knew if it came to a choice, Emma would choose you. Because you earned it. You showed up every day, even when I didn't. I'm not asking for anything. Not forgiveness, not friendship, not even understanding. I just needed you to know you were right. About everything. And I'm sorry. To you, to Emma, to the family we could have been. Sarah, I read it 3 times, and I cried. Not for her, not even for us, for Emma, for the mother she could have had, should have had, for all the ways this could have been different if Sarah had just been honest, just been brave enough to say she was unhappy instead of destroying everything. But you can't undo betrayal. You can only decide what to build after. This story isn't about what I lost. It's about what I protected. Who's someone who protected you when you needed it? Drop their name below. They deserve to be seen. Six months later, life looked different. Better, quieter, simpler. Emma was in kindergarten now, making friends, drawing pictures of her family, me, her grandparents, her stuffed animals. Sometimes Sarah appeared in the corner, small, But there. Healing isn't linear. That's what Emma's therapist said. Some days she'd ask why mommy couldn't stay for dinner. Other days she'd say she liked having her own room at both houses. Sarah had completed her parenting classes, graduated therapy to once a week, showed up on time for every visit, followed every rule. The supervised visits ended after 3 months. Judge's order. Emma's therapist recommended it. Your daughter feels safe with her mother now, the therapist told me. Sarah's done the work. I wanted to feel relief. Mostly, I felt tired. Emma asked if mommy could come to her next birthday party. We were making dinner, Tuesday night, spaghetti, her favorite. I don't know, baby, that might be complicated. Because you and mommy don't like each other anymore. Because mommy and I are still learning how to be friends. But you're nice to her when she picks me up. Kids notice everything. I am, and I always will be. But birthday parties are special. They're for people we're close with. Emma twirled spaghetti on her fork, thinking, what if she earns it? I looked at my 6-year-old daughter. When did she get so wise? What do you mean? Like how I earn dessert by eating vegetables. Maybe mommy can earn the party by being a good mommy. Out of the mouths of babes. That's very smart, Em. So can she? If she earns it. Emma smiled, went back to her spaghetti. Problem solved. In her mind, everything was negotiable. Everything was fixable. I hoped she'd keep that optimism. I saw them 3 weeks later. Grocery store, Sunday afternoon. Emma was with Sarah, her weekend. I was grabbing coffee creamer when I heard his voice. John. This one? He was saying. Or this brand? I turned the corner. There they were, Sarah and John, together, shopping. So much for no contact. Sarah saw me, froze. John saw me, started to speak. I looked at him, just looked at him, one long second. You're not worth my daughter hearing about, I said quietly. Then I walked past, got my creamer, checked out. Behind me, I heard Sarah. John, we need to leave. I didn't turn around. At home, I called my lawyer. She violated the order. She's in contact with John. Was Emma with her? No. Emma's visit ends at 6. This was her personal time. Silence. The order says no contact in Emma's presence. If Emma wasn't there, technically, she didn't violate. You're telling me she can date the man she cheated with as long as Emma doesn't see it? I'm telling you the order was specific. We can request modification. But unless Emma's being exposed to him, the judge won't care. I hung up, sat on the couch, stared at the ceiling, and realized something. I didn't care. Let Sarah date John. Let them build whatever life they wanted. Emma was safe. Emma was loved. Emma was mine. The rest was noise. Emma's 6th birthday was different. No bounce house this year, no big party, just family, my parents, Sarah's parents. They'd stayed close, invited themselves, and I didn't say no. Emily, a few kids from Emma's class, and Sarah. She'd earned it. 3 months of consistent visits, gentle conversations, respecting boundaries, following rules. Emma wanted her there. So she came. We baked the cake together the night before. Emma and me, chocolate with vanilla frosting. How many sprinkles? I asked. All the sprinkles, Daddy. We dumped the entire container on top. The cake looked like a sugar explosion. It was perfect. Sarah arrived at 1 p.m., brought a gift, wrapped simply, no designer paper this time. Hi, she said at the door. Hi, come in. Emma ran over. Mommy, look at my cake. Daddy and I made it. Sarah crouched down, hugged her. It's beautiful, baby. We burned the first one, but we made another. Sarah laughed, real laugh, not the nervous one from the hearing. That sounds like an adventure. Daddy said we don't have to be perfect. We just have to try. Sarah's eyes met mine. Daddy's very smart. The party was easy, simple. Kids played in the backyard. Adults talked on the patio. Sarah stayed close to Emily. Didn't try to insert herself into my conversations. She was respectful, careful, trying. We sang Happy Birthday. Emma blew out 6 candles this time, made a wish. What did you wish for? Someone asked. Can't tell, Emma said. It won't come true. But she looked at me, then at Sarah, then smiled. I think I knew her wish anyway. After everyone left, I was cleaning up. Sarah helped, bagging trash, stacking plates. Thank you, she said quietly. For what? For letting me come, for not shutting me out completely. You could have. Emma needs her mom. I know, but you didn't have to be kind about it. I tied off a trash bag. Emma's watching. Always. I'm not going to teach her that punishment lasts forever. I'm teaching her that people can earn trust back. That consequences exist, but so does growth. Sarah nodded. She's lucky to have you. She has both of us. Let's keep it that way. She left 20 minutes later, hugged Emma goodbye. See you next weekend, baby. Bye, Mommy. The door closed. Emma came over, tugged my hand. Daddy? Yeah, Pumpkin? That was a good birthday. Yeah? Yeah, because everyone was nice. I picked her up. She was getting big. Almost too big to carry, but not yet. That's how it should be, nice. Can we have cake for dinner? I laughed. Absolutely not. But it's my birthday. Your birthday was 3 hours ago. Now you're back to vegetables. She groaned, dramatically, slid down. You're mean, Daddy. I know. I'm the worst. She grinned, ran off to play. I stood there, in my kitchen, in my house, looking at the calendar on the fridge. Sarah's weekends marked. Not with dread, not with anger, just marked. Part of life, part of co-parenting. Above the calendar, I'd hung Emma's drawing, the one from a year ago. My daddy and me. Framed now, protected, a reminder, not of what we survived, of what we saved. That night, after Emma went to bed, I sat on the back porch. The birthday banner was still up, the one Emma and I made together. Her handwriting bigger now, more confident. My phone buzzed, a text from Sarah. Thank you for today, and for being who you are. Emma's lucky. I'm grateful she has you. I stared at it, typed, she's lucky to have you, too. Keep showing up. Deleted it, typed, you're welcome. See you next weekend. Sent it. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. I'm trying, David. Every day, I'm really trying. I know. Emma sees it. That's what matters. The dots stopped. No reply. I put the phone down, looked at the backyard, where a year ago a birthday party had exploded into a confrontation, where papers had fallen, where truth had burned through lies. Now it was just grass, a swing set, peace. Healing doesn't look like fireworks. It looks like this, quiet, gradual, ordinary. A week later, Emma brought home a school project, my hero essay, first grade assignment. The teacher had called me that morning. I think you should see this before she brings it home. Emma handed it to me at pickup, proud. I wrote about you, Daddy. I opened it in the car. My Hero by Emma Mitchell. My hero is my daddy. He makes funny voices when he reads. He never yells even when I'm bad. He always comes back. One time Mommy was sad and Daddy made sure I was okay. He said, I am loved. He said, it is not my fault. Daddy makes the best pancakes. He lets me put sprinkles on everything. He says we don't have to be perfect, we just have to try. I love my daddy. He is the best daddy in the world. At the bottom, she'd drawn us, 2 stick figures, holding hands, under a triangle sun, just like a year ago. But this time she'd added something, a house behind us, with windows, with a door, with smoke coming from the chimney. Home. I sat in that parking lot, reading my daughter's handwriting, and I cried. Not from pain this time, from pride, from gratitude, from the overwhelming love you feel when you realize you did it. You kept them safe. You showed up. You earned the title they gave you. Hero. Emma looked at me from the back seat. Daddy, are you sad? No, baby, I'm happy. Happy crying? The best kind. She unbuckled, climbed into the front seat, against the rules, but just this once, hugged me. I love you, Daddy. I love you too, Pumpkin. Can we get ice cream? I laughed. Yes, we can get ice cream. With sprinkles? All the sprinkles. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's the people who show up when everyone else walks away. Tell me about your found family. I'll be reading every comment. 6 more months passed. Emma was thriving, report card full of exceeds expectations, making friends, laughing more. The therapist said she'd adjusted well, better than most kids in her situation. She feels secure, the therapist told me. Both parents are consistent. That's rare in divorce cases. Sarah had a new apartment, small, clean. Emma had her own room there. Pink walls, toys, her drawings hung up. She'd introduced Emma to John. Gradually, coffee shops at first, then the park, then dinner. Emma reported back, Mommy's friend John is nice, but he's not my dad. No, I'm your dad. I know, said simply, like it was obvious, because it was. The calendar became routine. Every other weekend, some holidays split, summer shared. We were co-parenting, putting Emma first. It wasn't perfect. There were disagreements, schedule conflicts, moments of tension, but we figured it out for her. One Saturday morning, I was making pancakes, Emma at the table, drawing. My phone buzzed. Sarah, can we talk? Nothing bad, just talk. Me, sure, when? Sarah, now I'm outside. I looked out the window, her car in the driveway. Mommy's here. She wants to talk to Daddy for a minute. Is she staying for breakfast? I don't think so, baby. Can she? We're making the good pancakes. I texted Duck. Emma wants you to stay for breakfast. 3 dots. Sarah, are you sure? Me, come in. Sarah sat at the kitchen table, Emma between us, chattering about school, about her friend Madison, about the hamster in their classroom. Sarah and I made small talk, careful, polite, not enemies, not friends, just 2 people raising a child. After breakfast, Emma ran off to get ready for her soccer game. Sarah helped me clear plates. I'm seeing a therapist with John, she said quietly. Okay. We're trying to figure out if we're actually good for each other or if we're just trauma bonded through the affair. I didn't know what to say to that. I thought you should know, in case it doesn't work out, in case Emma mentions it. Okay. She loaded a plate into the dishwasher. I know you probably want us to fail. I don't. She looked at me. I don't care if you're with John or anyone else, Sarah. I just care that Emma's not caught in the middle. She won't be, I promise. Then I hope you figure it out, whatever it is. She nodded. Thank you. Emma came running back. Ready for soccer? Sarah smiled. Go score some goals, baby. You could come watch, Emma said. Both of you. Sarah and I looked at each other. That's up to your dad, Sarah said carefully. Emma looked at me, hopeful. Sure, I said. Let's go. We sat on opposite ends of the bleachers, cheered when Emma got the ball, groaned when the other team scored. Afterwards, Emma wanted ice cream. We went together, the 3 of us. Not a family, not anymore, not like before, but something functional, something healthy for her, always for her. That night, tucking Emma in, she asked, Are you and Mommy friends now? We're learning to be. Good, because I like it when everyone's nice. Me too, Pumpkin. I kissed her forehead, turned out the light, walked to the hallway, and saw the calendar on the wall. Next month marked, Sarah's weekends, school events, soccer games, a life shared, divided but shared, not perfect but functional, healthy, healing. The phone buzzed, not Sarah this time, Emma's iPad, a reminder for school. I smiled, picked up the drawing from the counter, the new one Emma had made that week. 3 stick figures this time, me, Emma, Sarah, standing separate but together, under the same sun. My family, written across the top. Below it, in smaller letters, different but still love. 6 years old, already wiser than most adults. I hung it on the fridge, next to the calendar, next to the old drawing, evidence of growth, of change, of resilience. We baked her cake together every year after that, Emma and me, a tradition, chocolate with vanilla frosting, all the sprinkles. The kitchen was always a mess. Flour on the counter, frosting everywhere, laughter filling the space. Sarah came to the parties, brought reasonable gifts, stayed appropriate amounts of time, respected boundaries. John eventually faded out. They broke up 8 months after the divorce finalized. Sarah dated someone else after, then someone else. Finding herself, she said. Emily became Emma's favorite aunt, came to every recital, every game, every big moment. Sarah's parents stayed close, grandparents, family, chosen over and over. Emma grew up knowing the truth gradually. Age-appropriate pieces, mommy and daddy made mistakes. They weren't good for each other, but they both loved her. She never blamed either of us. We didn't give her reason to. Years later, Emma, 10 years old now, she asked me about the divorce. What really happened, Dad? With you and Mom? We were driving home from school, just us. I'd known this question would come eventually. Your mom and I wanted different things, and instead of being honest, we both made choices that hurt each other. Did she cheat? 10 years old enough to hear some version of the truth. Yes. Are you still mad? I thought about it, really thought. No, I was, for a long time. But being angry doesn't help anyone, especially not you. Do you still love her? I love who she is to you, your mom, and I'm grateful we figured out how to be better parents apart than we were together. Emma nodded, processing. I'm glad you're my dad. Me too, kiddo. Like, biologically and everything. I glanced at her. Where'd that come from? Madison's parents did one of those DNA tests for ancestry. It made me think. My hands tightened on the wheel. Do you have questions about that? No, I know I'm yours. I have your weird pinky fingers. She held up her hand, crooked pinkies, just like mine. I laughed, relieved. Yeah, you do. Plus, you stayed. That's what matters. Out of the mouths of babes. Yeah, Em, that's what matters. The framed drawing, the original from when she was 5, still hangs above her bed. She's asked to take it down a few times, replace it with posters of bands I don't know, artists I don't recognize. I always say, no. That's our history, I tell her. That's the moment I knew I'd fight for you. She rolls her eyes. Teenage years approaching fast, but she leaves it up because she knows what it means. He always comes back. The phone buzzes now with normal things. School updates, practice schedules, Emma asking if her friend can sleep over. Not secrets, not lies, not text previews that make my heart stop, just life. Ordinary, beautiful, earned. Sarah texted last week, "Thank you for not taking her from me completely." I didn't respond immediately, let it sit. Then, she needed her mom. You learned to show up, that's all that mattered. No reply. She didn't need one. Tonight, Emma's asleep, 13 now, growing fast, becoming her own person. I walk past her room, door cracked, always cracked. Inside, I can see her, curled up, headphones still in, phone on her chest. Above her bed, the drawing, faded now, edges worn. My daddy and me. 2 stick figures, holding hands. She doesn't know I carried that in my pocket the day everything changed. Doesn't know it saved me. Reminded me what mattered. Not revenge, not winning, not punishing Sarah, just protecting this sleeping teenager, this fierce, funny, brilliant kid, this piece of my heart walking around outside my body. I close her door softly, walk to the kitchen. The calendar on the fridge shows next weekend, Sarah's weekend, marked in blue. Not with dread, not with anger, just marked. Part of the rhythm. I make coffee, sit at the table, look at the latest drawing Emma made for art class, a tree, with roots deep and branches wide, and written along the trunk, family isn't blood, it's who stays. I text the photo to Sarah, me. She made this, thought you'd want to see. Sarah, she's incredible. Me, yeah, she is. Sarah, we did okay, didn't we? I stare at that message, think about everything, the affair, the betrayal, the fight, the healing. Me, we figured it out. For her, that's all that counts. 3 dots, then Sarah, thank you for showing me how. The house is quiet now. Emma asleep, Sarah in her own home, the past finally passed. I walk to the window, look at the backyard, where a bounce house once stood, where truth exploded, where everything ended and began. Now it's just grass, moonlight, peace. The phone buzzes one more time. Emma's iPad, school reminder. I smile, pick up my coffee. And I realize something. I'm not the man I was before, the one who didn't notice, who trusted blindly, who thought perfect families existed. I'm better, stronger, wiser, more careful with my heart, but more open with my love. And Emma is whole, happy, secure. We don't leave, not when it matters, not when someone's worth staying for. We show up, we do the work, we earn trust, we keep promises. Emma knows this, lives this, because I showed her, not through words, through action, through staying. Outside, the maple tree in the front yard sways in the wind. The same tree that was there when we bought this house, when we brought Emma home, when everything was supposed to be perfect. It's still there. Older now, stronger roots, wider branches, like us, different, but still standing. I finish my coffee, rinse the cup, turn off the lights, walk past Emma's room one more time. She's still sleeping, still safe, still mine. And tomorrow we'll make pancakes, we'll argue about homework, we'll live our ordinary, beautiful life. Not perfect, just ours, hard-earned, protected, cherished. I close my eyes and I hear 5-year-old Emma's voice from years ago. I love you, Daddy. I love you too, Pumpkin. You always come back. Yes, always.